Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. I hope everyone had a fantastic rest of their Monday. I hope you're all having a great Tuesday so far today. Today is the Time Will Always Tell Awards. Look at that beautiful trophy. Look at it. It is the most majestic thing you've ever seen in your life. You're so tired? Let me tell you a story, see? Let me tell you a tale. Sit right there and let me tell you a tale. I tried to go to bed early last night. That was my first mistake. Mistake number one. Sun came in 3 times. Over the course of like 2 hours. And then at 1:21 a.m., I awoke to fire trucks surrounding the building. It was a false alarm. There was nothing wrong. But when you are awoken at 1:21 a.m. by fire trucks surrounding your apartment building, you have a tendency to panic a little bit. So I've been up since then. I nodded off around 11:45. So here we are. It's gonna be a long day. I'm so tired. I'm so tired I'm nauseous. That's how tired I am. Anyway, it is time for the Time Will Always Tell Awards. I'm going to drift off a lot today. I'm sorry. There's like a disconnect between my brain and my mouth, more so than usual. Got Bishop a banana mug for Christmas, and now you're drinking tea out of it. Nice. And a Bork mouse pad. That's awesome. The dog on the trophy should be pooping. That's fair. You know, that's fair. You've entered my realm. Welcome. Yeah. I don't like it. I'd like to go home. I would like to get off of Miss Eve's wild ride. Thank you. You're currently using the Bork mouse pad. Nice. We're winging it today. Let's be honest. I wing it every day. So. Anyway. So, if you haven't been here before, for the Time Will Always Tell Awards, on the final stream of the year, Happy New Year's Eve, we look back 5 years ago and re-award the Game Awards, give away some awards that we've made up, and just revisit everything that came out 5 years ago, because who the has time to play all those games? You know? Have I eaten anything this morning? I did have some espresso at 3:30. That counts, right? So, anyway, we're gonna look back at 2019. We're gonna look back at 2019 and see what games came out. We're gonna talk about what games came out. We're gonna talk about what games are good. We're gonna give out the game of the year. We're gonna give out like best art direction. We're gonna give out like the best like character performance and like game design, the best indie. 2019 is number 1, the last year of the before times. So there's that. Number 2, 2019 is kind of the start of the resurgence that is continuing today of remasters and remakes being a thing. So I figured with 2019 we would start a new category of best remaster/remake, because I don't really like the fact that remasters get nominated for Game of the Year. A lot of work goes into them, and I really appreciate studios keeping the games fresh and playable on new technology, but it should be its own category. So yeah, I might have to check previous lists because I don't remember all the categories, see, and really prepare for this at all. The one thing that I wanted to do that I didn't have time for, I'm definitely doing next year. is going to be great. So just throwing it out there. Only 343K away from VIP. Just like, you just got a tier 3 sub for like 6 months, Panda, and you'll be fine. You'll get there in a minute. Anyway, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through. I'm gonna skim through. I have the wiki page for 2019 up and all the game releases. We're gonna skim through that and look at what actually came out, and then we'll talk about it. And then we'll go into some categories. We'll talk about those. We'll have some votes. I'll ignore those votes, and it'll be fun. Boo-foo! Why you gotta show up right now? Huh? Huh? Mean, man. It's mean. I hope you're doing well, bud. Thank you so much for 55 months. I appreciate you. Don't. Best time to show up? I hope you're doing well, Boofs. I hope you're doing well. So, listen. 2018, last year, was a doozy. 2018 was a massive year. And I was thinking, like, man, 2019 probably didn't have a lot of great games. But it turns out there were a lot of really good games that came out in 2019. We just kind of forget about when they came out. So, let's go through and we can look at, hang on, let me put this over here so you all can see what I'm looking at. You all can see it, right? Know what button does what. There it is. You can read that, right? Easy peasy. Everyone can see that. Anyway, you can totally read that, right? Everyone can read. You can actually, if you're on a big enough screen, like if you full screen me, you could probably read it. Hang on. Let me see if I can adjust. You're not that old yet? Look at me. Let's go for appearance, large text. See how that looks. Okay. Yeah, that's totally better. Sure. A little better? Anyway. Appearance, 40 plus. Best plague coping mechanism category, that's just Animal Crossing, Mia. So, it's just a giant white on the left of the screen. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Anyway, if you want to see, it's the Wikipedia page for 2019 in video games. It's not real readable, so I'll just put this back over here. I do love that Wifeboat now will periodically go back into her Animal Crossing save to make sure she leaves enough time in between going so she can laugh at everybody that's upset that they haven't seen her. Which is just spectacular. Alright, listen. Let's go through the different game awards that were given out for 2019, and that will kind of highlight the stuff that came out, right? Everybody was like going like, "Oh, I thought you were dead" and stuff, and she was just cackling. It was pretty funny. Bought Pocket Camp, played it for full 5 minutes. I do want to try Pocket Camp. I might enjoy Pocket Camp. I'm not sure. All right. Here we go. Ready? Game of the Year. There's 6 big organizations that give out a Game of the Year award. There's the Japan Game Awards show, the Game Awards show, or the Jeffies, if you will. The New York Game Awards, which I don't think is a thing anymore. I don't think the New York Game Awards is a thing anymore. Anyway, there's the DICE Awards, the Developer's Choice Awards, and the BAFTAs. So, we'll be going through those. It didn't get shut down. What they did, Mia, is it's $10 now or something, and you just get the game, and there's no more microtransactions. You just get the game, and you can play as much as you want. There's no more like time gating stuff. So you just get it and everything. So they are like sunsetting it, but you can just play it now. Imagine just playing a game that you own. Anyway, so the Japan Game Awards, for 2019, the game of the year for them was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is interesting. The Jeffies, the game of the year was Sekiro. Sekiro came out in 2019. The New York Game Awards, the award went to The Outer Worlds. That is the Fallout style in space game. Both the DICE Awards and the Game Developers' Choice Awards gave Game of the Year to Untitled Goose Game. And the BAFTA went to Outer Wilds. This is the year of Outer Worlds, Outer Wilds. So there's that. Other big games that came out that year. Let me just give you like 5 or 6 games that came out that year. In addition to those. So Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Sekiro, Outer Worlds, Untitled Goose Game, Outer Wilds, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, Baba Is You, Slay the Spire. There's a lot more. But Happy New Year, Jeremy. Good to see you. Red, good to see you as well. Also, hi. If I miss you when you come in, apologies. Hello. Control, Sekiro, and Outer Wilds all came out the same year. Yeah. Along with Slay the Spire, along with Disco Elysium, along with Baba Is You. Baba Is You is wildly underrated. Personally, we're going to be doing a Indie Game of the Year did not exist in 2019. That's not something that existed. That is a recent addition to the Jeffies. But we'll be giving out an Indie Game of the Year, and boy howdy, I have no idea how that's going to go. Because Goose Game, Slay the Spire, Disco Elysium, Baba Is You. That's just off the top of my head. Outer Wilds is fantastic. Best game that you're definitely not smart enough to play. Yeah, that's very good. Control was so good. I haven't played Control. Control is not, like, Control never interested me at all. And when it came out, there were a lot of performance issues. So that kind of set me off on it as well. But I haven't played Control. I haven't played Alan Wake. I haven't played any of that universe. So I own Control. I think I also own Alan Wake, but I haven't played them. Let's skim through the release calendar for 2019. Okay, so the big stuff obviously we've talked about, but there's other stuff that's come out. Other stuff that came out during the year. So we'll skim through, starting with January. Big stuff that came out in January. I am going to talk about remasters and re-releases because that is going to be a category that we're going to award later. So, Hitman HD Enhanced Collection came out. That's our first remaster thing. Walking Dead: The Final Season came out. Yakuza 4 on PlayStation 4. That was Yakuza, was that no. Did Yakuza 4 wait, is that just on PlayStation, or did Yakuza 4 come out in the... I gotta see. The note on this says Japan only, so Yakuza 4 might have come out this year too. Thank you, C. Oh, the ones for last year? Thank you. Let's see. Slay the Spire came out. Life is Strange 2, Episode 2 came out. Resident Evil 2, which I believe is a remaster. I believe. Sunless Skies, throw that in for Indie Game of the Year. It's a fantastic game. Wargroove, another great indie game. Space Engineers also released. That's a big one. Tetris 99 came out in 2019. Boy, really? Yakuza 4. Okay, so that was a PS4 release. Got it. Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. Far Cry New Dawn came out in February. That's just for PC. Oh. So one of the other, for no reason, I'm not bringing this up right now for any reason whatsoever. The other category that I'm going to be adding to the Time Will Always Tell Awards this year is most disappointing release. I feel like every year since 2019, there's been a very hyped game that has ended up being a fairly big disappointment. So, last game you're waiting to play is Skyrim. You'll play it when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. There's rumors they might be remastering Oblivion. Yeah, so on that note, Anthem came out February 22nd, 2019. I did a stream for the release of that game. That was honestly so much fun. The first like 2 or 3 hours of Anthem were mind-blowing. And then it never went anywhere else. There's a fan. Yes, Skyblivion. Skyblivion looks incredible. Anyway, Anthem came out. Dirt Rally 2, which underrated game. The Dirt Rally games are really good. If you ever want to play like a racing game that's not like full, like really full simulation and just kind of fun, Dirt Rally is very good. Anthem is all foreplay, no payoff. Anthem never got better. Yeah. Other big releases. They have everything here, even stuff that's like, oh, this got a Switch release, like, so you gotta look through it carefully. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 came out. Baba Is You came out in March, which we mentioned. Sekiro also came out in March. Unravel. Oh no, that's Switch. Never mind. Outward, another game I streamed on release. Outward was really good until you realized that if you didn't want to run back to town, you could just die. Like to see the baby. And it would fix everything for you. Look at the baby. It could have been fantastic. Honestly, I know they've done a lot of improvements to it, Eve, since I last played. Like, I guess getting magic and stuff is much easier now, which is neat. I just haven't revisited it, so, yeah. So, Outward. A remaster of Assassin's Creed 3 came out. Tropico 6 released at the end of March. Going into April, Islanders. Islanders is a great little indie game. That's a very fun little indie game. Anno 1800 released in April. My Time at Portia had its console release which I think coincides with 1.0 on PC. Maybe. Plan to play it together. It's been 5 years. I think I started a playthrough with my brother. I think we played like 3 hours, and then we never played it again. Cuphead got a Switch release. Mortal Kombat 11 was released. Rise of Industry, which is a fun little sim game. Yakuza Kiwami 2 got a Windows release. That one came out a couple years before that, though, I think. Plague Tale Innocence. Porsche was 2019. Okay, yeah. So there you go. Plague Tale Innocence came out in May. That's a pretty good game. Rage 2, the shooter. That can go on the list of most disappointing releases. Speaking of disappointing releases, Dauntless released in May, which if you haven't followed what has gone on with Dauntless since then, good lord. Anyway, they were bought out by a company that focuses on NFTs. That should tell you how that's gone. We covered Slay the Spire. Those are all Switch releases. Good morning. Why are you looking at me like that? Don't shake your head at me, child. Anyway, Void Bastards released in May. Layers of Fear 2 released. Outer Wilds was in May. Oh, it's a full suit. It is a full sweaty suit. Octopath Traveler. Octopath Traveler released on PC in 2019. It came out in 2018. Okay, I thought we had talked about that one last year. I don't remember what happened yesterday, so. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night came out in June. My Friend Pedro came out in June. Heavy Rain also released. Let's see. Going into the summer, Mama Freya, good morning. The stories were too disconnected. Do you know how many times I've started Octopath Traveler? It's a lot. Let's see. That was a pretty slow summer. Lots of Earth Defense Force 5. That's a personal shout out. I have my friend who recently passed away loved the Earth Defense Force series, and I remember him being hyped about 5. Beyond Two Souls released. That's a Quantic one. Isn't Willem Dafoe in that one? I don't know why I remembered that. Oxygen Not Included hit full release in 2019. After, I think it was 2 years? Yeah, 2 years in early access. Oxygen Not Included hit 1.0 in 2019. That's a big one. That's going on the best indie list, because that's a really good game. It's a really good game. Age of Wonders Planetfall. This is what I'm saying. Like, I was going through this list over the weekend, and I was like, man, I did not remember that so many good games came out this year. but I remember I streamed a lot of these games. Remnant from the Ashes, Mikey's famous broadsword rant occurred while we were streaming that together. Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey. Bard's Tale 4 Director's Cut, which is a no, that's Bard's Tale 4 came out in 2014. That's just all of the DLC and stuff together. Oh, Hunt Showdown entered early access in 2019. Oni is the bane of your existence, Lolo. So, okay, one of the other... So, Control released in August. But something else released in August that has to be talked about. August of 2019. The day after my birthday. Because I do remember that. World of Warcraft Classic launched. That's going to be a nomination for our remaster remake. Oni is the best game you suck at? Yeah. I am not good at that. So, WoW Classic dropped in 2019, which is pretty wild. Dark Pictures, Man of Medan is in 2019, again. Children of Morta in 2019. Remaster of Final Fantasy VIII. The Spyro Reignited Trilogy was in 2019. There's a lot, Eve. Doc, how's it going? Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Greedfall. Underrated RPG. I had fun streaming Greedfall. That one was decent. Gears of War 5. Sayonara Wild Hearts. We talked about a little bit earlier. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Released in 2019. On the same day as Untitled Goose Game. Iceborne is a phenomenal expansion. Yeah, that's got to go on for best DLC. There haven't been a lot of DLCs, mostly. Oh, Borderlands 3 came out in 2019. I skimmed past that because who cares? AI The Somnium Files also came out. On the... Hi, Zelda. I didn't know if you were still hanging around. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Code Vein, also released in September. Cube World officially released in 2019. Boy, that's going on the list of biggest disappointments. God of War reminds you that Laura Bailey got robbed for the Voice Actress Award. Yeah, we'll be re-awarding that one. So, speaking of DLCs, Destiny 2 Shadowkeep dropped in October. Warsaw as well. A remaster of Ghostbusters, the video game. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. That can go in the most disappointing games. Ooh, nominee for indie game, John Wick Hex, which is really good. That game is really good. I had so much fun streaming that game. That game's fantastic. Let's see. Disco Elysium came out in October. Wild. Those are all console releases of stuff that was already out. The Outer Worlds dropped in October, which we mentioned before as well. Code Vein looked like a decent game, but never really heard much about it. It's very... Weeby. Yeah. Cube World, 8 years in the making, software equivalent of stepping on a soggy carpet spot. Yeah, basically. Oh, in November of 2019, a small game called Planet Zoo was released. Small title there. And then I guess also Death Stranding came out. Sure. A nominee for Best Remaster or Remake, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition dropped. Another big game that came out, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, dropped in November of 2019. That's a pretty good game. That's a really fun game. Nominee for Remaster Remake, Halo Master Chief Collection, dropped in December of 2019. Phoenix Point hit 1.0 in 2019, which is a interesting XCOM-like. It never really fully clicked with me, but it was okay. Second best use of force powers. The first being control, Bishop. EA games you avoid like the plague, yeah. It's by the guy that made the original XCOM. It has some good ideas, Chemical. So, like, in particular, you're not really beholden to the miss the 99% chance thing. Because there is some actual aiming that goes into it. So, if you miss, it's somewhat human error. So, it was a little bit better there, but, like, the overall feel was just very, like, I'd rather play XCOM. Anyway. So Dragon Quest Builders 2 dropped in December for PC. It came out at the very end of the year in 2018. So that could maybe be considered for something. Detroit Become Human got its Windows release, but that came out a couple years previous. And that's it. Oh, best DLC, EverQuest Torment of Velios, which I think at that point was their 20th expansion pack for EverQuest. Good lord. With the fan patch and the full DLC, Phoenix is okay. Yeah. That's a problem for me. Like, if the base game requires a whole bunch of other stuff, then, you know. There's a lot of other releases that came out because Stadia released in 2019. RIP Stadia. So there's a ton of stuff on there, like re-releases of Stadia and stuff. Hey, buddy. Good morning. Yeah. That's it. That's the full list. A lot of good games. It's a lot of good games. Uber, what's going on? A game where a fan patch is required to be good isn't one you're willing to work with? Yeah, no, 100%. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm going to refill my coffee. I need an IV. My wife would give me an IV. Done it before. Coffee, but I mean... 2 seconds. Okay. And your best endorsement is okay. You might want to play the game inspired by it again. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to add best remaster remake, best affordable game, most disappointing game, and best indie. I think are the ones I want to add this year. I think we probably did best indie last year. I think. Best remaster or remake, yeah. 2019 is when they really started coming in hot and heavy. So all right. So let's start with some of the kind of throwaway categories, shall we? I don't that sounds bad. I mean the ones that like people aren't going to be super duper passionate about, right? Java, how's it going? No banana jokes. Yeah, Long War takes a really good game, it makes it a really great game, but best auto clicker? All right. So let's do you know what? Let's do best character performance. Let's do like best voice performance. We'll do that one first. Cuz there are two immediately that come to mind. Well, three. I'd say three that come to mind right off the top. So an Oscar for sound editing. Yeah. Best voice actor, best voice performance, shall we say? AutoKey, thank you for 75 months. Happy 2019, such a great year. Can't wait to see what 2020 has in store for us. If you were around for my New Year's Eve stream for 2019, when I was signing off, I said we're going into 2020, which means that we're rolling with advantage. Turns out we were rolling with disadvantage. My bad. Anyway. Whoopsie. That one. I'll take the blame for that one. All right. Best voice performance in a game. The three off the top of my head, right? Laura Bailey in Gears of War 5. The narrator in Disco Elysium, who's just chilling. I don't know who that actually was. Does anybody know off the top who? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Development. There is so much stuff. It just talks about all the people who were replaced and all the stuff that has happened since then. Lenville Brown? Is that who it was? Lenville Brown? Okay. Gears of War 5. So we have Lenville Brown, the narrator in Disco Elysium. Laura Bailey in Gears of War 5. And then, say what you want about Death Stranding, but Mads Mikkelsen in Death Stranding is really good. Yeah, in anything, you know. So, can't really argue that. Sorry. I don't know. I don't have a potato in my mouth, Bufu, so I can't pronounce it correctly. Christopher Judge was phenomenal as Kratos. God of War didn't come out in 2019 though. Boy. Best VA. We've got Mads Mikkelsen. We've got Laura Bailey. Or Bailery, apparently. I shouldn't be doing this while I'm... And Lenville Brown, who's Disco Elysium. We'll do those three. Those are the three that I had off the top of my head. I don't... Yeah, I'm doing it now. It's fine. It's fine, see. Because then I can talk it out while I'm making the poll. Poll is up! Get your votes in. Get your votes in for who should win. For best voice actor. Just notice Mr. Handsome on the trophy. If you'd like to see the trophy up close, there you go. I also have it on my mug. It's all about branding. You haven't played any of the games? Boofs. You haven't played Disco? Buddy. The first time I played, it's been 5 years, so spoilers for something that can happen in the first 5 minutes of Disco Elysium. First time I played Disco Elysium, I made my character. You load up, hungover, in a bedroom. I went to turn the light on. The light was very bright. I failed the saving throw, had a brain hemorrhage, and died. And that was the end of my first playthrough of Disco Elysium. And that's why it's a sensational game. Second playthrough, I did a flying jump kick of a lady in a wheelchair about 10 minutes in. So that's hilarious. Also immediately made me want to not ever buy it. Yeah. Get your votes in. Time is ticking down. Mads Mikkelsen, Laura Bailey, or Lenville Brown. Death Stranding, Gears of War 5, or the narrator for Disco Elysium, who has just a sensational voice. At least I didn't start a fire. Did I start a fire in Disco? I did want to murder a child. Anyone who plays that game will understand. Anyone who has ever played Disco knows exactly who I'm talking about. Even if you are the most passive person in the world, you will absolutely consider murdering a child. Just saying. If you've played the game, you know who I'm talking about. Artful, how's it going? We look back 5 years ago and re-award all the Game Awards, because now we've actually had a chance to play some of them, you know? Or watched it, yeah. Yeah, there's that. You got 2 minutes left on the poll for Best Voice Actor 2019. It's not the first kid you hate in the game. Well, I mean, that's me. Everyone's met a child they want to murder, especially if you're related to them. Yeah. Yeah. I know that feeling. Don't bro me, bro. What did I do? I'm sorry, I will not interrupt your Dress to Impress gameplay. Now she's upset. because you used her brother's sound effect. So, thanks for that. One in the living room right now snoring like a chainsaw.
Creepy stream because my dad's a little...
Wow. Anyway. Anyway, 20 seconds left. Mads Mikkelsen is leading for Death Stranding, which is not super surprising, gotta say. Not terribly surprising. Doc, that one was made in October. We tried to remake her old one that she made when she was like 6. Yeah. Yeah, Boofs, she'll be 14 in 2 weeks. Anyway. Poll is over. Mads Mikkelsen wins for best voice actor. Can't really argue with that, right? Yeah. Welcome to the party, pal. He steals all my shirts and sweatshirts. Oh, sorry. Borrow. Anyway. Okay. This one's going to be interesting. All right? Let's do best game design. The best game design for 2019. Let's get some nominees out there, shall we? The big ones that I think need to be in the nominees are Baba Is You, Slay the Spire, Outer Wilds, Oxygen Not Included. That's 4. Those are givens. So best game design. So something unique about the gameplay. Should we throw Goose Game in there? Need a list of all the games released in 2019. There you go, Boops. What year was Dream Daddy released? I actually don't know. Probably 2020? Maybe it was 2018. I'm trying to think. When was the Dark Souls remake? Before that. All right, let's throw. So best game design. We've got Baba Is You, Slay the Spire, Outer Wilds. Just really cool mechanics. No, that was the Windows release, Boofs. The full release of Red Dead 2 was 2018, and it did win Game of the Year. That's just the Windows release. Like, you'll see games on there, and you're like, oh, that came out, and then it just has, like, NS next to it, so that's just the Switch release of it. So, like, 2019 had the Witcher 3 edition released on Switch, so you gotta kind of skim through some of them and double check, like, what platform. What did we say? I forgot. So best game design. Baba Is You, Slay the Spire, Outer Wilds, Goose Game. Eve, I'm on like 45 minutes of sleep. You're lucky I'm semi-coherent. Goose Game was brilliant. Yeah, I agree. Slay the Spire was good. Why it qualifies as design, you're not sure. Because Slay the Spire's game design changed the way those games are made from that point forward. Like, without question, it is one of the most impactful designs to a game. It set precedent mechanically for every game that's followed in that genre. Like, should we throw Borderlands 3 on there? There was some unique mechanics in that one, wasn't there? We should get, there's definitely like one, oh, oxygen not included. That's the other one. Okay. I wouldn't call frequent crashes unique mechanics. Alright, so best game design nominees. Baba Is You, Slay the Spire, Outer Wilds, Goose Game, and Oxygen Not Included. The poll is up. How many games are described as Slay the Spire, but with X? Yes. So, well, Lolo, to be fair, yes. But what ConcernedApe did with Stardew Valley was improve the mechanics and the gameplay progression of the genre. So it took the base that was Harvest Moon and made it a little bit better, made it a little bit more approachable. Slay the Spire took card games and added the so Slay the Spire's main mechanical improvement to games was the predictions of what enemies would do. Having those predictions above the enemies, broadcasting what was coming, really took the game from probably being a decent game to being a great game. That mechanic has become, like, you have to have that in games now. You can't not have that. You can't have a game without broadcasting enemy intent anymore. Like, you just can't. So that's where you take, like, oh yeah, it's a roguelike card game, but because of its contribution to the genre, it has become synonymous with the genre. Look at isometric Metroidvania like dash games, right? They're kind of now becoming synonymous with Hades, where Hades took an incredible story and put it into an isometric like dungeon crawler. It's just how it becomes, you know. Vampire Survivors becoming synonymous with Bullet Heavens. Don't even know if you watched someone play Baba Is You. Baba Is You is fantastic. It's, or Diablo-esque, yeah. I mean, that goes back to Rogue. The game Rogue. It's where we got roguelikes and roguelites. Baba Is You is not on sale. How? It's not on sale for the winter sale. It's only $15, but it is awesome. It sometimes makes you feel like you're really kind of dumb. But it's awesome. Like Stadia becoming synonymous with costly failures. So, like, Baba Is You uses, like, really, really interesting, like, logic blocks. Like, you change the way the game works with them. It's really, really interesting. Slay the Spire, obviously, we talked about. Outer Wilds, with its time loop mechanic and its exploration, and just that, like, creeping progression, that, like, almost roguelike progression, where you make it a little bit further each time, and you get a little bit of piece here, and you get a little bit of piece here. Goose Game, just being able to walk around and be a hole that's a great mechanic. I mean, that's just incredible, right? Ruak, how's it going? And then oxygen not included. I don't think anybody can make a colony management game without looking for influence from oxygen not included now. It's really good. You do that in every... Okay. 1 minute left on best game design. The vote is up if you want to vote. The nominees are Baba Is You, Slay the Spire, Outer Wilds, Goose Game, and Oxygen Not Included. Again, these are all games from 2019. Now that we've had a chance, I think I've played... I've played every game on that list. That's cool. Who wants that? Yeah, if it's tied, I pick. Even if it's not, I'll pick what I want. This is just to make you feel better about yourselves. Bread and Fred. Finding out there's a lot of games where I've said, ooh, wow, I'm going to play that. Maybe even bought it and then never did. Yeah, that's very true. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never had that happen to me. Ix. Ever. Always a goody two shoes in games, but Goose Game brings out the gremlin in you. Alright. The winner is Oxygen Not Included. I will agree with that. I will absolutely agree with that. Oxygen Not Included is, Eve mentioned before, it's the best game you suck at. It's difficult. I am not good at Oxygen Not Included. If you want to see Dauntless GG streams Oni every now and then, and she understands how that game works. I don't. So. Okay, now what? You know what? That's colony management games for me in general, FLCL. I fail at the mid-game. Like, getting everything established is really fun. And, like, getting a foothold and getting everything going. And then that mid-game, where you just have to kind of, like, spread everything out, I fall completely flat. Same with RimWorld. Yeah, that's fair. I've played a decent amount of both games, and had to stop buying stuff. Yeah, I should probably do that at some point. That's never going to happen. Have that with V Rising at the moment. I haven't played V Rising since the last update, the final like big update. We had a V Rising community server. We could probably do another one at some point soon. We're going to restart the Valheim server too. Probably this coming weekend. I'm going to kick off a brand new Valheim server. So, there's that. Yeah. Focus. I lose focus so easily when I'm tired. I'm sorry. Nothing I can do about it. Alright, let's roll into... let's do best narrative. Shall we? Best narrative is... I'm struggling to finish what I have in my cup now, Scuzzy. I had espresso at like 3:30, and then it's only gotten worse. So best narrative. Let's get some nominees. I'm just gonna ignore those now, boobs. Let's get some nominees for best narrative. Disco Elysium, obviously. Outer Wilds, obviously. Relk, thank you so much for 25 months. Happy New Year's Eve to you. Rude. Best narrative. Maybe we should make a new category. Character you want to curb stomp. And then we'll make some nominees from that. Seems like every year there's a game that has like a bad guy that you just wanna do a murder to, you know? Best narrative. Goose Game, obviously. Most disliked character. Yeah. No. Outer Wilds. Absolutely. Best narrative. Disco Elysium. Incredible. More nominees for best narrative. Death Stranding. Not my cup of tea, but it is a compelling story. Sekiro, no. Control. Everyone say hi to Wisty's cat. Shout out to Wisty's cat. Can't vote on most of these because you don't own them, haven't gotten around to play them. That's why we do it 5 years on, Lolo. Because then at least like more people have done it. If we did it for this year, I'd have played 2 or 3 games that are like up there for game of the year. My game of the year this year wasn't even nominated. So, mad about that. And it's not Balatro. Balatro's up there. Balatro is a very, very, very close second. But my game of the year for this year is Satisfactory. It's not even really a conversation. It's incredible. Let's get two more games for narrative. You mean her and she's trying to bite your face? 2 more games for best narrative. There were definitely some other good narrative games that came out. And I am falling short. We've got Outer Wilds, Disco Elysium, Death Stranding. No, not Goose Game. Goose Game doesn't... It has a narrative, but it's not like... It's not compelling. You're just walking around breaking stuff. Far Cry New Dawn. Oh, Plague Tale. Thank you, Scuzzy. I knew I was missing one. Plague Tale Innocence. Plague Tale probably should have had a nominee for Best Voice Actor, to be honest. That's an oversight. They wouldn't have won, but should have been nominated. Goose Game makes you feel compelled to break stuff. That's fair. That is fair. Best narrative. You know what? Let's put in a channel favorite for best narrative. For the last nominee, My Time at Portia. Yeah, it has to be 2019, Roke. My Time at Portia will get a nod for best narrative. Because Portia came out in 2019. So. And go. So, voting is open. Best narrative. Outer Wilds, Disco Elysium, Death Stranding, Plague Tale Innocence, and My Time at Portia. Get those votes in. It is... That is a difficult choice. It is a very difficult choice. Next up, after Best Narrative, we're gonna do... Yeah, AI Somnium Files. Yep. I don't know that I would... What would you replace on this list? Maybe Portia? I haven't played Somnium Files, so I don't have any compelling need to do so. When did Slay the Princess come out? Not 2019. Ooh, Ix. Outer Wilds is... It's hard to describe. Just play Outer Wilds. You can't describe Outer Wilds without spoiling Outer Wilds. It's just spectacular. Dawn. Boring. Dawn. Oxygen Not Included won Best Game Design. You're welcome. Because it came out in 2019. Of course it did. I mean, it's up against... It was up against some difficult competition, so... Saying. You missed your shot. Next up after Best Narrative, by the way, we're gonna do Biggest Disappointment. One of the new custom categories will be next. So get your thoughts in. If you're prone to motion sickness, yes, that is absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. But boy, that game's good. I have not played the DLC yet. I was all set to play it, Relk, and then something came up, and I completely forgot about it. And then I remember it, and then I forget about it. And now it's been so long that if I jumped into it, I think I would be completely confused. Yeah, that's what everyone says. I really need to. Didn't get it. Think you're just dumb. Didn't care about the story. That's hard to find. It takes a little bit to get the story rolling. And there is there's a slight frustration threshold that you have to get over before it starts to click, and then it's like a snowball rolling downhill that it just gets better and 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 better. And then you smash into the bottom and you want to cry and never leave your bed. Anyway. 1 minute left on voting. Best Narrative: Outer Wilds, Disco Elysium, Death Stranding, Plague Tale, Innocence, My Time at Portia. I'm somewhat surprised that Plague Tale Innocence hasn't gotten any votes. You have enough in that? Yeah, one of the other reasons I haven't played the DLC. Yeah. If you weren't here at the beginning of the stream, at 1:21 last night, fire trucks came ripping up and surrounded the building. So that was cool. It was a false alarm, but easy to get back to sleep after that. Super fun. Super fun. Doc, what's going on? 20 seconds left. Narrative was good, but not the greatest. Definitely very predictable, Leland. I'm not saying that it deserves to win. I'm just a little surprised that it didn't really garner any votes. Little Robin, good to see you. Perfect way to end the year. Yeah, my personal vote, now that it's down to and done, is Disco Elysium. Disco Elysium is incredible. The narrative in that game, if you've played Baldur's Gate 3 and you enjoyed the branching different ways that story can go, Disco does that in a smaller package with sometimes hilarious or just completely tragic consequences. You will restart the game. You will restart the game. You will fail. You will die. Yeah. I told the story earlier when we were talking about game design. No, voice actor. It's been 5 years. Here's a spoiler for the first 15 seconds of Disco Elysium. You wake up hungover as a detective in a hotel room. I woke up and turned on the light. I failed my saving throw, had a brain aneurysm because the light was so bright, and died. That was the end of my first playthrough of Disco Elysium. So, yeah. It's a great game. Yeah, so best narrative, Disco Elysium. That's my vote. That's the answer. Like Death Stranding, good story. Like there's all of those nominees have good stories. Outer Wilds story is amazing. It's not necessarily the best threaded through narrative because of that initial frustration. But yeah, Disco Elysium is phenomenal. Phenomenal. All right. Need nominees. This is going to be one of our brand new categories. Given that from 2019 on, things, we've definitely gotten some disappointments. So the biggest disappointment release for 2019, obviously, the first one is going to be Anthem. That's definitely a given. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Great shout. What about, well, I guess more people played Break? No, Brain Break. I guess more people played the Division 2 than played the Division 1. But in my brain, Tom Clancy's Division 2 was a failure, but I don't know if it actually was. It might just be me. Borderlands 3, I don't know that I would call Borderlands 3 a disappointment. For me personally, it is. Outer Worlds, maybe. Was, Fallout 76 was not 2019, was it? I don't think it was. Outer World was great, just had a bad release date, yeah. Only 2019, yep. Every holiday season? Oh, really, Zunder? I just saw that you responded to me, yeah. I want you to do that, by the way, Zunder. If I didn't make that clear. Either that or a duet. Just saying. We've got time. The writing was very lackluster. Yeah. I'm interested to see what they do with Outer Worlds 2. So. It was... Oh, no. Fallout 76 was November? Did I miss that one? That one nestled in with... Stadia? I don't... No, Stadia doesn't count, because everything that released on Stadia was a previous release. Right. I don't see it on there. Oh. I missed a game for narrative. Another nominee to throw on for narrative, Jedi Fallen Order. Missed that one. Yeah, 2018. Okay, yeah. Jedi Fallen Order for best narrative. That was a very interesting story, and the end of that game is phenomenal. Didn't like that game at all? No, see. Disco's incredible. It just deserves a nomination. What other nominees for biggest disappointment for that year? There was definitely some others that were on there that I wanted to put on there. Dauntless. Thank you, Eve. That was definitely one. Not you, Daunt. The other Daunt. Control Hunt Showdown. I feel like there was one more. Remnant, no. I mean, does it even matter what I add on to here? Because Anthem exists. So I don't think there were any other, like, real standouts like that. So I think we'll just run it with these. And just skimming to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah. Oh, Rage 2. Not that Rage 1 was particularly good, but we'll throw that on. Subnautica, it was in 2019. Has to be from 2019. All right. Yes. Run it. It's a yes, kind of. It wasn't gonna be an Iron Man game originally. It was gonna be a Destiny style game, and then they made it into an Iron Man game, and honestly, that was the best part. Yeah, this is the last of the before times show's fun. We were going through the list before, and I kept going, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah. The vote is up. Biggest disappointment in release: Anthem, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Dauntless, and Rage 2. Was that early access or full release, Doc? Considering Breakpoint seemingly killed one of Ubisoft's open world franchises for nearly an entire generation, I hesitate to call it disappointing. Queen, welcome in. Fair. You know, the other one is Far Cry New Dawn. Could have been on there. But honestly, a year which includes Anthem is difficult to compete with. Oh yeah, I'm going through the official release dates on Wikipedia for the year, Doc. There's always stuff that gets missed, and if it released in early access, it wouldn't be on this list. That wasn't multiplayer since 2019. They're just riding the back of Rainbow Six Siege, which is fair because it's like probably the best game that Ubisoft has ever put out. I want a new Splinter Cell so badly, Chemical. 2021 was full release for Below Zero. There, thank you, Eve. So tune in 2 years, Doc, and we'll talk about Below Zero and my disappointment. We might have to run multiple polls for best indie game because, my goodness, 2019 was a doozy. Yeah, I don't think we could. Oh, that's fair. A Splinter Cell that basically clones Hitman. Yeah. Do you think I'm still gonna be around in 2 years, Doc? I'm 1,000,000 years old. Yeah, I hope they do too, Boots. I really hope they do. My big issue with Below Zero was that, like, you had to go get all your gear and, like, find blueprints and make all your crafting gear and stuff when you knew you were going there. Right? So you just went there empty-handed. And we're like, oh no, I'm on a planet that I was planning to come to. I guess I should go scuba dive and find some stuff. Like, it really yanked me out of the game. Alright. The poll is over with an overwhelming majority. Anthem is the biggest disappointment of the year. I'm like 3 years older than you, so shut it. A million years old. I'm so tired. I feel an extra million years old today. Okay. Next category. Should we do... This one will be tough. Should we combine sound design and music, or should we separate them out? Wasn't nearly as well designed as the first game? Yes, I agree with that, Boos. I didn't really feel like I was separate. I didn't really feel like I was exploring. I was just like scrounging. Yeah, no, that's fine. So let's do sound design first. So best sound design 2019. Let's get some nominees. I will throw Sekiro on there, because I don't know that there is a sound in gaming that hits that like endorphin satisfaction as the ping of a good parry in Sekiro. And then when you listen to it for hours, you want to stab yourself with a sword. But still, it's rewarding. Sound design, Outer Wilds absolutely has to be on there. A big part of the puzzle of Outer Wilds is about its sounds. The ping of M1 Garand. You know, they're very similar sounds, Matt. 2019 was not an interesting year in gaming for you. The indies that came out in 2019, Bufu, are interesting to me. Like, game of the year, I already know what my game of the year is. Best indie game, though? I have no idea. Genuinely, there are so many good indie games that came out. Jedi Fallen Order for sound design? Yeah. Absolutely. That's 3. I agree. Particularly like the chatter of the stormtroopers and the enemies. Fantastic. Plus the little bot on your back was great. Just the ponchos. Why? Best sound design. Should we throw Control in there? Oh, what about Goose Game? I'm putting Untitled Goose Game on there, because there is something about that honk and then like the interactions. I think definitely needs to be on there. Says the man wearing the banana suit. Okay. Metro Exodus. Oh yeah, that's a great shout. That'll fill out our roster of 5 nominees. Metro Exodus. Now I know what's going on. Yeah, music and soundtrack will be next. Oz rules. So this is sound design. The poll is up. Best sound design 2019. Sekiro, Outer Wilds, Fallen Order, Untitled Goose Game, or Metro Exodus. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Control should be on the soundtrack list. Yeah. I mean, like, Death Stranding would be on there. Disco has a pretty good soundtrack. Outer Wilds has an incredible soundtrack. Control has an incredible soundtrack. Sayonara Wild Hearts has an incredible soundtrack. a tough pick. It's a tough pick. Porsche has a great soundtrack. There's some of Sekiro's songs are really, really haunting. Get your votes in. Oh, Cadence of Hyrule. Oh, yeah. That came out too, as well as yeah, Cadence of Hyrule will be on. Anno 1800 is all soundtrack. Yeah. Yeah, Cadence of Hyrule was 2019. So was Link's Awakening. Goose Game is running away with it. The AI voted for Outer Wilds. Well, that ruins it. Best sound design, 3 minutes left. Sekiro, Outer Wilds, Fallen Order, Untitled Goose Game, or Metro Exodus. At the moment, Goose Game is running away with sound design. Jovial, how's it going? There's too many people in this chat who haven't played Outer Wilds. It is disappointing and startling. Don't like space games? That's fair. Yeah. Didn't like it? That's fair. You're wrong, but that's fair. Yes, it did. The controls were frustrating? Yeah, that's fair. How well they nailed the Star Wars sounds? Yeah. Yeah. They did a good job. There's something just really satisfying about walking around honking at people, apparently. Can't fault that. Play games that I would hate too? I know, Doc. I know. And I play games the way that you hate. They're not high budget AAAs only. That is fair. Also, the Switch Lite came out in 2019. By the way. Which, can't believe that's 5 years ago. It feels like so much longer ago than that. Talk about timing. Talk about timing. The Switch Lite drops at the end of September in 2019. You want to talk about hitting the market at exactly the right time. And the winner is Untitled Goose Game. Between that and Animal Crossing coming out in early 2020, remember the petition in like March to get them to release it early? They call it the light switch. So best sound design goes to Untitled Goose Game. Congrats. Here's your trophy. It's magnificent. All right, let's do... I need nominees for the best soundtrack. Best soundtrack / music. Let's get some nominees in there. Outer Wilds. Control. Cadence of Hyrule. Next year, Animal Crossing is your Game of the Year vote. Disco. Yes, thank you. Is there another one? Got Porsche. Borderlands 3. Just Dance 2020. Sayonara Wild Hearts is in consideration. I just want to make sure I'm not missing one. WWE 2K20. Jackbox Party Pack 6. Well known for its soundtracks. Hey, look, I'm missing one. Feel like I'm forgetting one. Dark Pictures, Man of Medan. Not really known for its soundtrack. We got Control on there. Remnant from the Ashes. Kingdom Hearts 3. Was that 2019? Yeah, Slay the Spire has been nominated for a couple. Cadence of Hyrule we got. Octopath Traveler, that was last year. Outer Wilds is on there. Void Bastards, not really. Plague Tale. I'm forgetting one. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not, and I'm just too tired to remember anything. Beat Saber, Outward. I don't really remember the soundtrack. Sekiro has like decent music, but not really nominee worthy. Far Cry sometimes does me. Apex Legends came out in 2019, by the way. Like full release, I think was 2019. Yeah, that's it. That is it. So we'll throw Sayonara Wild Hearts, I think, is... I've watched folks play that one. Has really good music. Really doesn't, though, Jake. Alright, poll is up. Best soundtrack / music. Outer Wilds Control, Cadence of Hyrule, Disco Elysium, and Sayonara Wild Hearts. It unfortunately doesn't cool my head off at all. Oh. Nope. Get your votes in. The early leader in the clubhouse is Cadence of Hyrule, which, honestly, decent. Hard to choose between Outer Wilds and Control. Fair. Pokemon Dog and Dog version came out in 2019. I have no idea what you're talking about. Next category is going to be Best Family Game. Sword and Shield. I've never really played Pokemon, so. Because both legendaries were dogs. Gotcha. Sword Dog and Shield Dog. I'll take your word for it. Old list helping? Yeah, there was a couple categories that I'd forgotten about. Like family game and multiplayer. I don't think I'm going to do open world because there's too many open world games, and that's a little too loosey-goosey. Quite hard to remember them all? Yeah. I mean, even without sleep, I still wouldn't remember them all. Even with sleep. Right? Right. Right? Yeah. Right. It's a Zelda remake of Crypt of the Necrodancer. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Smash Brothers won what? Jovial. Best family game? What's the definition of a family game? Something you could play local multiplayer. I think has to be a requirement for a family game. With grandma. Well. Boom. When did the first Switch Mario Party come out? 2017, I think. Chemical is when the Switch dropped, which is pretty wild. It's going to be 9 years. If the Switch 2 should be coming out next year, it'll be 9 years between consoles, which is a pretty good distance, especially for Nintendo. All right, 30 seconds left. Get your votes in if you haven't. Cadence of Hyrule is leading by a little bit over Control. Does it have PS5 levels of unavailability? Oh, it definitely. Well, maybe not that much, but definitely will. Yeah, Mario Maker 2 is a great shout. Whenever it comes down to like best family game, it always ends up just being like best Nintendo game of the year. Cadence of Hyrule wins the best soundtrack / music. Good choice. It's a good choice. Are there any good are there enough nominees for Family Game? Because it's basically Smash or Super Mario Maker. Luigi's Mansion 3? Not really multiplayer, though. Big year for board games. On Mars. Maracaibo. Wingspan and Tapestry. Ooh, nice. Yeah. So Smash Deluxe and Super Mario Maker 2. I feel like we might skip that. That category. Because that's just like best Nintendo game. Is what it is. Because I feel like Nintendo's the only like one that really cranks out good like local multiplayer games. It is getting better. A lot of games that are coming out now have couch co-op, which is awesome. I don't think there were any other really big games, really good games from this year that I don't think Outward was couch co-op. So yeah, they're almost always family games. Like almost always just Nintendo games. Astrobot this year was kind of the exception. All right, so we'll skip family game. The other one that I wanted to do is multiplayer. Multiplayer game. Let's do best multiplayer game. That'll kind of, we can throw like Smash in there for that. That'll kind of mix together with family game. So best multiplayer game. Apex officially released in 2019. So Apex Legends kind of has to be on there. Smash Brothers Ultimate. They do really good at local multiplayer because they're terrible at online. They're getting better. Splatoon is wildly fun. No, that was Wisty's cat. Yeah, the installment. Oh, that was the remake, remake of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So Modern Warfare 1. We'll throw Modern Warfare on there. Yeah, Gears 5. That's a family game. Grandma, you want to chainsaw some people? Mortal Kombat 11? That's fair. We got room for one more. We got Apex Legends, Smash Brothers, Modern Warfare, Gears 5. Generic FIFA game. Toe Jam and Earl, is that a remaster or a new game? Mm-hmm. Oh, Back in the Groove. That is a new game. That one's co-op, right? Oh, The Division 2? Oh, Outward. Outward is a multiplayer game. You know, I'm taking Call of Duty off there. Let's gear this more towards games that will actually get voted for. I put Outward in place of Call of Duty. Probably. Yeah, there's gonna be a best. This is the years under. 2019 is the year when like remakes and re-releases really started kicking off. So, Farming Sim. No. Yeah, let's throw Toe Jam and Earl in there. It's a very silly, very fun series. You haven't played it. Okay. Best multiplayer game vote is up for the next 3 minutes. Apex Legends, Smash Brothers Ultimate, Outward, Gears 5. are the nominees for Best Multiplayer Game. I'm going to guess this is going to be one of the least voted categories. We might have to trim this one off. Point. But, you know. You know. Can you suggest a category for Best Borderlands game released in 2019? What if it doesn't win? It'll be up against literally anything else. Best Borderlands game for 2019. Borderlands 3 or literally anything else. So Jam and Arrow was produced by Macaulay Culkin. Untitled Goose Game for Best Borderlands. I mean, yeah, that is fair. Borderlands 3 did get a nod for most disappointing. Yeah, Doc, it sounds like ChatGPT is just spitting back the ones that actually won. Both have claims to being a border world game. Yeah. They're both outer games. Legends is a game you just did not have the reflexes for. It's fair. I had a good time with Apex Legends for a little while. It's a fun game. Yeah, I jump back in with my son every now and then, Mama Freya. When he gets the itch. Ended up an Epic exclusive after pulling pre-orders on Oh, I forgot about that. Should have been illegal to release 2 games with the same name. Yeah, that's fair. 20 seconds. Get your votes in. You're voting outward. You're still expecting Eve to play one day like we planned. Doc, it's kind of a meme. I don't really like Borderlands. I've tried to play it a whole bunch. It's just not my thing. Best multiplayer game 2019. The winner is Smash Brothers Ultimate. That's fair. That's fair. Excuse me. All right. Let's do... We don't have a ton of categories left. Let's do another of the new categories. Shall we? Let's do Best Remaster or a Remake. Yeah, I should take a break, but it's fine. Yes, Jovial. It's a poisoned well at this point, but yeah. Okay, nominees for Best Remaster or Remake. Age of Empires 2 is definitely on the list. Best Remaster / Remake. Age of Empires 2. Link's Awakening. Good. Good shout. Oh, WoW Classic? Yes, that does count. We talked about that before. Thank you for the reminder. WoW Classic, we got room for 2 more nominees. So, Best Remaster or Remake. Age of Empires 2. That's the, definitive edition, I believe. Link's Awakening. World of Warcraft Classic. There was a bunch of Yakuza releases, yeah. A bunch of Yakuza re-releases. It was also the Contra Anniversary Edition. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. Yes, that's definitely going on there. Final Fantasy VIII Remaster. I should play Final Fantasy. Everybody tells me I should just start with Final Fantasy 2, though, and I feel like that's a mistake. I want to start with 1. WoW Classic, we've got. Final Fantasy VIII Remaster, we've got. Oh, Spyro Reignited Trilogy. That was the other one I wanted to put on there. That one was really well done. I don't think there's any others. I just want to double check. Might bump something off. The enhanced editions of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, as well as Icewind Dale and Planescape, came out. And while those are all excellent, I don't know what I would bump for any of them. Also, there's too many of them. Oh, we forgot Cube World for biggest disappointment. We should have a games we forgot existed category. Cube World. This is best remaster or remake. I have 5 nominees. I'm just double checking that we don't have anything else that really jumps out at me. There was a couple Yakuza games that were remade. There was a couple Resident Evil games that were re-released as well. I don't think. Assassin's Creed 3, yeah, but I think that's everything. Oh, no. What am I going to bump? Halo Master Chief Collection. That's the one I was forgetting about. I think Link's Awakening has to be bumped. Age of Empires 2, Link's Awakening, WoW Classic, Final Fantasy VIII Remaster, Spyro Reignited. No, maybe I'll bump Spyro. For Halo. Yeah. Halo Master Chief Collection, MCC. MCC, that's me. Okay. Those are the top ones. Vote is up. Best Remaster or Remake, released in 2019. Age of Empires 2 Definitive, Link's Awakening, WoW Classic, Final Fantasy VIII Remaster, or Halo Master Chief Collection. Get your votes in. Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition, I think. Yeah, that was consoles. It came out the year before on PC. FLCL. That feels like 10 years ago now, yeah. There was a bunch of remastered collections. The Contra collections. There were some like Capcom collections that came out too. Yeah, Hitman 2? Assassin's Creed 3 remastered. Hitman HD Enhanced Collection also came out. Yeah, Age of Empires 2 is still getting updates. It is the definitive way to play Age of Empires 2. If you haven't picked it up, if you ever enjoyed some E=mc² man, highly recommend you pick up Age of Empires 2 Remastered. It's very well done. Finally get around to trying Hunt Showdown. Hunt Showdown came out in 2019. Using the idea of a playthrough the Hitman games again. I gotta see. I think I had them all on disc. The original Splinter Cell games. It's probably in one of my office boxes in storage. Because I think I saved some of those. Although, I think only the first Splinter Cell I had on PC. The rest might be on console. Age of Mythology remake was 2019. Yeah, I think best remaster remake from this point forward, even for like the Jeffies and stuff, should definitely be its own category. Because, boy, I don't know. I don't remember when I bought it. It's under like 3 years ago at this point. Might have been before I moved. Divinity Original Sin 2 came out in 2018, Scuzzy. That was the Switch release, I think, was this year. Was 2019? Or console release. But it was nominated for a bunch of categories last year. 2 minutes left. Get your votes in for Best Remaster or Remake from 2019. Age of Empires 2, Link's Awakening, WoW Classic, Final Fantasy VIII Remaster, or Halo Master Chief Collection. Mac was 2019. I'm sure those three people had a great time. If you ever talk to a game developer about Mac support, they will tell you they're probably never doing Mac support again. Because it takes so much time and the sales are never worth it. No, they did remaster it, Jovial. They did some work on it because they brought in more modern mechanics. Oh yeah, everybody's going to do a Linux branch because of Steam Deck. Not just Proton, but the Livono one is actually apparently pretty good. Mac support for Firebot is bad enough? Yeah. 1 minute left. The voting is very tight. Very tight. They're out of school until March. Good God, no. Link's Awakening is squeezing away. Wheezing away. Season of Discovery is cool too, yeah. Master Chief Collection was awful and you didn't understand? Really? I've played a couple of those on the Master Chief Collection with my son. It's a lot of fun to revisit that. He played some of them with his cousin too. It was great watching that. The winner for Best Remaster Remake, as voted by chat, is Link's Awakening. Link takes it. The actual winner is going to be Age of Empires 2. I overrule you all. It's Age of Empires 2 because it's 5 years later and it's still getting updates and still fantastic. Couldn't get over. Yeah. Multiplayer and rankings broken forever. Yeah, that's fair. I think it's better now. Tournaments for AoE 2 are great. Don't even play, but watch those lots. Yeah. 100% Sax. So whenever I disagree, we put my winner and then we also put like who chat voted for. So, you know, your vote has been logged. No one cares because I'm the only one that matters here. Got you back into WoW for a few years. Was that a positive thing, though? Or... Please pick a different game just to overrule Eve. It's tempting. One part of me doesn't want to do what you just told me to do, but the other part of me does want to irritate Eve. It's a coin toss. Chat's winner has an asterisk. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Let's do a difficult one. Shall we? Let's do a difficult one. Hi. Why is your fur on my body? Hello. Go see your sister. Let's do a difficult one. We're going to do best indie game. This one's going to be a doozy. Yeah, in streaming talk. C reposted them. They're also pinned in the channel so you can see the recap. I should really make a Google Sheet and sum them all up and do a tab for each year so that we can keep track better. But I'm lazy. So maybe at some point. All right. This will be a doozy 5 years from now, too. Yeah. So Slay the Spire. Yeah. But Disco's an indie. Baba Is You is an indie. Goose Game is an indie. Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds. I know Outer Wilds was published by Annapurna, right? But who is the developer? Mobius Digital. They don't even have an entry in Wikipedia. Goots. Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the ones that has... We're going to have to do multiple votes to, like, narrow it down. We've done that before. We're probably going to have to do that here. While you're in there, just delete all the Paint's pinned messages. Nope. Porsche, absolutely. This one's gonna be tough because there's more than that too. Those are like the real big ones, but there's others. So let's do. We're gonna have to do. We'll pick 10, so we can do 2 votes. We'll do between 8 and 10. So we'll do 2 votes. Best indie. If we do 8, so if we do 4 and 4, or 5 and 5, no, yeah, 8 or 10, and what we'll do is we'll take the top 2 from each vote, and then those 4 will go into the final vote. All right. So we'll do. Void Bastards, definitely a consideration. Let's do Space Engineers. Yeah, so Outer Wilds is definitely an indie game. Space Engineers, Outer Wilds. Tunic was not 2019, no. Anthem from that little indie studio. No. Outward. Tunic was 2022. I was gonna say it was way before that, but nope. That was that's almost 3 years ago. Okay. Good. Baba Is You. My friend Pedro, maybe. You're playing Tunic right now? Oh, great. Great game. Jump King? Katana Zero? Oh, My Time at Portia. Ape Out? Yeah, let's throw Ape Out on there. So this will be the first one. So we'll have 2. So we're gonna have 10 total nominees for this one. No, Cadence doesn't count. Alright. The first set of votes for Best Indie. The top 2 vote getters from this one will go on to the next round. So keep that in mind if you're undecided. It'll be the top 2 that go through. Sunless Skies also came out. What game is it, Doc? If they were independent in 2019, then yeah. Even if they have like a sizable publisher, like Annapurna for Outer Wilds is a big publisher. So, Red Bean, how's it going? They should allow you to change your vote in these. This one is going pretty much how I thought it was going to be going. Played exactly 0 of these games. I think, Jake, I think you would enjoy Baba Is You. It's $15. And it's very good. It's super, super interesting and mindful. I played Space Engineers, and for that reason, I cannot vote for it. You got mad and quit? So says everyone who has played Baba Is You. Your backlog is insurmountable enough? I mean... block-pushing puzzle games are having a renaissance? That's fair. Very fair. Alright, so next 5 is definitely going to be, we're going to have Portia, Disco, overdid it with the difficulty. Risk-A-Rain 2, Bauer, came out in early access. It's only the full release of the game that we're counting. Like, for instance, Slay the Spire is 2019. It released in early access in 2017, so we count it for 2019. Like, Satisfactory came out this year, even though it's been early access for like 5 years. Just needs a better hint system? That's fair. Okay. So, Outer Wilds and Baba Is You are the top 2 for that one. Let's go for the second. Voting for Best Indie, and then we'll have the final. Best Indie 2. Slay the Spire. My Time at Portia. Ma'am. Sunless Skies. I never finished Sunless Skies. I think I streamed that on GOG's channel, and then I never got back to it. Goose Game. I was trying to split up the big name ones into multiple ones so that they wouldn't all be stacked in one side of the vote. Goose Game and Disco. But there's a lot of really good ones stacked on this side. This one's tough. I might pull... We can have 5, so if we take the top 2 from the other, we can take the top 3 from this one. Yeah, Slay the Spire's on there. So, vote is up for the second bracket of Best Indie Game. Slay the Spire, My Time at Portia, Sunless Skies, Goose Game, and Disco Elysium. Get your votes in. Disco's that old? It is. It is exceptionally upsetting to see what has happened to that studio and everyone involved in that game. Sunless Sea was fun but hard? Yeah. Did I write Sunless? I'm too tired for this. Oh yeah, Sunless Skies, not Sunless Sea. Sunless Skies. I mean, same thing. Almost like capitalism kills everything it touches. The owners of the studio basically tried to claim ownership over the IP, tried to freeze out the writers who own the IP, and then it went to court, and then the studio blew up, and no one really knows who owns the IP anymore, and there are 5 studios that have sprung up out of people who made the game. I think only 3 still exist. It's a mess. Rex, how's it going? I get your votes in. Get your votes in. So many .com companies. Yeah. Get money, and then everybody wants a piece. And it just explodes. It just explodes. Go see your sister. She's right there. He would like to sit with you. I cannot bring you up here when I have the banana suit on. Ma'am. I love you. Go see your sister.
I would like to see the baby.
Look at the baby. Get your votes in, folks. Couple minutes left for the second bracket. So the top 3 from this voting will be going up against Outer Wilds and Baba Is You in the final vote. Sea of Solitude. I never played that one. I don't think. Did I? I don't think I did. For Disco, it's down to 3 now, Rex. Originally, 5 different studios were trying to claim the IP. 2 of them have since folded. There's 3 left. Last I heard. It's a mess. It's a mess. By the way, there's way more indies that came out this year than what we've put here. I'm just trying to grab the highlights. Like Wargroove came out, which is a really fun turn-based game published by Chucklefish, who publishes Stardew. That's a really fun game. There's a couple others that are definitely worth a play. Metro Exodus is like borderline indie. Deep Silver's not really indie. They're not necessarily beholden to anybody, but they kind of are. It's one of those iffy ones. Islanders also came out. Fantastic. Little like super casual puzzle city builder. Really, really good. Katana Zero. That's a Devolver joint. Really, really good. Jump King also came out. That's definitely an indie. Risk of Rain 2 is early access, Jovial. Risk of Rain 2 didn't hit 1.0. Void Bastards is another one that was a possibility. My Friend Hadro, also really good. Go get your mother. Penny got tape on her foot. Boo. I mean, it'll get nominations when it comes in. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, also another indie that came out. There was a lot of very good indies that came out. It's going to be kind of like this year. When we look back at this year, it's going to be a lot. Really, really difficult. Okay. So, final poll for best indie. The final, we've got Disco Elysium, Goose Game, Slay the Spire, Outer Wilds, and Baba Is You. This is tough. The votes are up. The votes are up, folks. Final vote for best indie game of 2019. Disco Elysium, Untitled Goose Game, Slay the Spire, Outer Wilds, and Baba Is You. Get yo votes in. 5-way tie? No. We're not doing that, because then I get to pick. Disco's the one you'll remember the longest? I'll definitely remember Disco for the rest of my life. I will also definitely still get emotional when I hear that banjo twang from Outer Wilds. So, no, thank you. I'm quite literally shaking right now from caffeine. Goose Game had the best memes. Slay had the most impact on the industry. That is fair. That does feed into our next category, FLCL, which is lasting impact. That's lasting impact is like a big one and kind of the point. That was the original genesis of this whole idea. What game from 5 years ago really had an impact on the industry and gaming in general? And then after that, we're probably going to do Game of the Year, which will be contentious. Contentious. Very contentious. As contentious as this Best Indie final. And I can tell you right now, at least 3 of these nominees are going to be on Game of the Year as well. So, couple minutes left. Get your votes in for Best Indie from 2019. Disco Elysium, Untitled Goose Game, Slay the Spire, Outer Wilds, and Baba Is You. Right now, Disco has a very, very slight lead over Goose and Outer Wilds. So, you got time to get your votes in. Make your voice heard. Get your votes in. Like that little box at the top of chat. Here's a question. So, I didn't put Oxygen Not Included on there because I don't consider Clay Entertainment to be an indie studio. They are, but at what point does a studio get big enough that they're not anymore? How do you define an impactful game? One that impacts the way games are made going forward. It's, yeah, Clay is small, but yeah, it's a triple I indie. That's a really, really good categorization, Cyber. I like that a lot. Clay would be a triple I. I completely agree with that. Because, I mean, I still think one of the most underrated games of all time is Invisible Ink from Clay. It's so good. Trademark that before Jeffrey steals it. It's Geoff. I'll have you know. 1 minute left. Scramble to get those votes in. It's very tight. It is very tight. 40 seconds. Play has 100 plus employees now. Yeah, I mean, what you call it, the survival game that I'm terrible at is very big. And Oni does very well too. Don't Starve. Thank you, Fawn. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, Don't Starve is a clay game as well. They make very good games. They all have a very similar art style. You can throw a dart and know what a clay game is. 2 seconds, 1 second. Best indie, Disco Elysium, edges out Goose Game. Don't Starve is fantastic. Talk about great games that you're terrible at. That is, I am, for some reason, just god awful at that game. Probably my favorite clay game is Mark of the Ninja. It's one of the best stealth platformers out there. It's really, really good. Mark of the Ninja is fantastic. Eve, if you haven't played Invisible Ink, it's turn-based, but it's stealth. There's hacking. It's really interesting. It's very good. All right. Disco Elysium wins Best Indie. That's incredibly well-deserved. So, next category. A very difficult category to create nominees for, because it's a very difficult category to define, and that's lasting impact. So it has to be a game that other games imitate, a game that carries forward. It's basically like Slay the Spire is the best example, and it's this year. Slay the Spire is a game that had really lasting impact, but I want to see, are there others from this year that had big lasting impact? Untitled Goose Game. I completely agree. Yes. Not just animal-based games, but games where you can be an hole. That's like an entire new category. It would help if I could spell at any point. Untitled Goose Game. Slay the Spire. Disco Elysium. Have you ever skimmed through RPGs on Steam in the last year? Because there are so many games that look like disco now and act like disco and have that narrator and have that really kind of vicious edge to it. Anthem. Any other games that came out in 2019 that really had a lasting impact? Oh, Apex. Apex definitely had an impact. While it's definitely in the second tier of BRs, a lot of mechanics from Apex made its way into every BR sense. Anthem's impact is almost killing BioWare. It's a good thing they were saved by Vilgard. All right. Katana Zero? They were just, yeah, that's just a Devolver joint, basically. You know what's funny? you would think Death Stranding would have had a more... If you asked me back in 2019, while I did not... Death Stranding's not my thing, I thought the multiplayer system in Death Stranding was going to become a huge thing going forward as a way to add a multiplayer element to your games without adding multiplayer. I thought that was going to have a lasting impact on the industry, and I don't think anybody else has done anything approaching it, which is very interesting. Very interesting. Nobody's talking about most of those games anymore. Yeah. Who won Indie? Disco did. All right. We'll run with these 4 because I can't think of any others, which means... Oh, no. There is another one. There is another one. It's a VR only, though. GTA 5 was not 2019. Yeah, no, that might have been a Switch release or something. No, Beat Saber, Matt. Beat Saber. GTA 5 is every year. Yeah. If you want to talk about lasting impact, I think Beat Saber for VR games, absolutely hands down. All right. The poll is up with our 5 nominees. Games for lasting impact. Games that, when they came out, changed the way that genre or games in general were designed around. People looked at what they did and stole the out of their mechanics, or look, or style. Just took what it was and ran with it. Untitled Goose Game, Slay the Spire, Disco Elysium, Apex Legend, or Beat Saber. I think if you went by the number of knockoffs, I don't know which has more, Slay the Spire or Beat Saber, because there's a lot of both. It's like Guitar Hero. Yeah, but so it's not necessarily about innovation, Matt. It's also about cleaning things up and making things easier and more approachable mechanically, taking existing mechanics and just making them better. Like we talked about Hades. Hades is a game that's going to have lasting impact because it took that isometric, dashy Souls-like kind of game and really redefined it by making it cleaning it up and making it much tighter and more enjoyable. And that has a lasting impact. The number of Hades clones that is out there is incredible. And it's only going to go higher, yeah. Goose Game is just a goat simulator clone. Yeah. Spire's almost single-handedly carved out a new genre. Yeah. Happy New Year, Doc. Thank you for hanging out, buddy. It's Clay, Klei is the name of the developer, Red Bean. They make fantastic games. I don't know that they've made a bad game. It's kind of like Supergiant. They've made an okay game in Pyre, but they haven't made a bad game. Newest one looks really good. Not that there's anything wrong with that. What did they announce? Oh, Hot Lava. Hot Lava was really fun. Forgot that. Oh, Rotwood. Yeah, I have Rotwood. Rotwood's in early access, isn't it? They had a demo out. Rotwood's fun. Richards, thank you so much for 26 months. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for the prime. Rotwood is in that, like, actually, it's closer to, like, Castle Crashers than Hades, but it is a little bit of the Hades style where you have that roguelite building up a base and then going through the map kind of thing. Wasn't Skyrim ported to the Samsung refrigerator in 2019? Yeah, we'll have a innovation in Skyrim technology category. The winner will be Borderlands 3. 1 minute left. Games with lasting impact. Not super surprising. Slay the Spire is kind of running away with this category. It just works award. The You Can Climb That Mountain award. What have we gotten from Slay the Spire? Enemy indicators. The prediction mechanic of what the enemy is going to do was really solidified into place with Slay the Spire. As well as, like, the branching map existed, but Slay really took that, and now I don't know that I've played a roguelike in 3 or 4 years that doesn't have that map. That is good lord. New category, things we get before Elder Scrolls 6. Alright. That's the end of the vote. Lasting impact goes to Slay the Spire. That's not really surprising. That is, so that category was kind of the genesis of where I got the idea for doing this. I thought, like, oh, we should look back like 5 and 10 years and see what games are still, like, big important games that have, like, really impacted stuff. And then I was like, why don't I just redo all the Game Awards? So there you go. It saved digital deck building games from stagnation. It really, really did. It yeeted them back into the limelight, as the kids don't say anymore. All right. We've got one big one left. One real big one left. And that's Game of the Year. This will be contentious. See, I was going to do affordable game, but I don't know how to do it. Is it affordable now or affordable then or affordable? Like, that's worst game. That was we did most disappointing Jovial, which went to Anthem. Because if we do like best value or something, it is difficult. Where do you do it as now or do you do it as then? So, well, best game under $20. Okay, if we do that, it's just going to be Slay the Spire again. Longest playtime, it's just going to be Slay the Spire again. Affordable equals indie. That's roughly it. That's like kind of where I'm falling, FLCL. I don't know that it's going to stand out enough and have enough nominations to really be worth running the votes and stuff. So, we'll skip it for now. We can workshop it for next year. Maybe figure out a better way to define it, and then we'll talk about it. Longest play. Yeah, Planet Zoo people are in shambles. Planet Zoo came out in 2019. We haven't really even talked about that. It hasn't really been nominated. So pretty much always affordable. Yeah, so that just makes it best indie game, right? So, all right. Game of the Year is going to be difficult. So, nominees for Game of the Year are it's got to be Outer Wilds, got to be Goose Game, it's got to be Disco, got to be Sekiro, definitely needs to be in there. And Control. Do we do 2? I think we're gonna have to do 2, because Slay the Spire definitely needs to be in there. Link's Awakening needs to be in there, I think. It's a very strong indie year, Cyber. It's gonna be like this year. This year was an incredibly strong indie year. 2019 was a fantastic indie year. Yeah, I think we'll have to do 2 votes. Unless I'm missing. Next year's going to be a weird one. It's going to be like Animal Crossing all the way down. So, other than those 5, what other games would be nominated? We got Sekiro, Goose Game, Outer Wilds, Control, and Disco. Death Stranding. I don't want to nominate Death Stranding for Game of the Year. Did it have outstanding performances? Yes. Does it have a neat multiplayer system? Yes. I don't think it's a good game. So, Game of the Year, I have Sekiro, Goose Game, Outer Wilds, Control, and Disco Elysium. Which leaves out Slay the Spire. But I don't think I would knock any of those off for Slay the Spire. Kill Control for Slay the Spire. Forgot Borderlands 3. Yeah, Slay won indie. So, no, Disco won indie. Disco won best indie game. Do we leave Disco off for Game of the Year? And put Slay in its place? Since Disco already won best indie game? I don't really want to do that because Disco's fantastic. Had Control on your radar, haven't pulled the trigger? I think I have it, yeah. Of these, the one that I would knock off, personally, would be Sekiro. Sekiro would be, of these 5, Sekiro would be in 5th place. But if I put in Slay the Spire, Slay probably moves up from 5th place. So I'm doing that. I feel like it's disrespectful to Sekiro, but I don't care, it's my stream. Just call me Jeff. Alright. Game of the Year, 2019. Voting is open. Slay the Spire, Untitled Goose Game, Outer Wilds, Control, and Disco Elysium. The nominations are up. That is a difficult choice. I like that it's just immediately the battle of the indie games again. Yeah, Sekiro definitely gets an honorable mention. Thank you, C, for tracking this stuff. I do appreciate that. It's just a really, really good RPG, Jovial. The story's really interesting. The characters are really interesting. The gameplay moments will make you, like, you'll go from just blind rage, contemplating child murder, to laughing out loud, to wondering what you're getting into, to wondering if somebody put mushrooms in your sandwich. It's a wild game. Yeah, 2019 was a strong year. I streamed a lot of games from 2019. A lot of new releases. 2025 Bishop is a bitter and hardened gamer. Disco is probably your favorite game of all time. That's fair. Sekiro is a phenomenal experience. Also made you better at FromSoft's other games. Yeah. I personally did not have a great experience with Sekiro. I haven't played through Sekiro. I've only played it a little bit. I enjoy the Dark Souls games a lot more. And now, like, if I'm going to replay one, I'm going to pick Elden Ring back up and maybe finish it at some point. Probably not, but there's a couple minutes left. It is close, folks. It's close. Yeah, the voice actor update made it very, very interesting. Ghost of Tsushima seemed to be better than Sekiro. I haven't played Ghosts yet, actually. I've watched a little bit of Ghost played, but if they remake Bloodborne, you'll play that one because the vibes are immaculate. I played a little bit of Bloodborne. I had borrowed my brother's PS4 back in the office. We did a little Horizon Zero Dawn and then a little bit of Bloodborne. And then his controller broke. And I wasn't going to buy him a new controller. Just a little over a minute left. A minute left now. Get your votes in for Game of the Year 2019. Slay the Spire, Goose Game, Outer Wilds, Control, and Disco Elysium. It's still pretty close. Good story and acting, but the gameplay is very generic, open world. Yeah, I think it's more about vibes, Maxo, is what they were going for. You know, like following the wind and stuff like that. Which is pretty neat. I don't mind a game that goes for vibes, you know? Just a few seconds left in the poll. If you haven't gotten your vote in, I am surprised. Pleasantly surprised how this vote is turning out. Because it means I'm not going to have to overturn the vote. I won't have to flip the table. Yeah, I thought Control would get more votes. To be fair. 2020 will be Hades versus Spiritfarer versus SnowRunner versus Fall Guys. Oh boy. Do I get a veto? I can flip the table anyway for funsies. All right. Game of the Year 2019 goes to Outer Wilds, which Outer Wilds is my Game of the Year for 2019. It was a beautiful, poignant, and wonderful game that will stay with me for the rest of my life. Disco Elysium takes second place. Absolutely well deserved. That top three. You want to talk about incredible year for indie games. The top three was Outer Wilds, Disco Elysium, and Slay the Spire. Outer Wilds is a phenomenal game. That's my Game of the Year. That was going to be my overturn the vote to name Outer Wilds. So was on Game Pass once. He kept holding for it to come back before you buy it. Gonna be late for work now. You're welcome, Jovial. That's what I do. I help people. So that's it. Congratulations on your trophy. I'm sure the folks at Annapurna, those that are left that haven't been fired, will enjoy the game of the year 2019. Time will always tell. Outer Wilds stood the test of time and still stands tall today. Congrats on the trophy. It'll be in the mail. If I could get anybody to make it. They all threw me out of their shops. So that's it. That's it, folks. Didn't some branch of Annapurna shutter? No, Fawn. They all quit. Every single employee. Which is, I'm sure that's fine, right? Anyway. Thank you, C. I appreciate you. That's the Time Will Always Tell Awards, folks. It's always fun. I have a fun time doing that. We do this every year. The amount of people in a company, if they're publicly traded, Red Bean, I believe that is part of the thing that they have to disclose to their investors. So there's ways to find that out. Employee count and stuff. So that's the Time Will Always Tell Awards. Remember, merch is on sale 10% off through the end of the day today. Through the end of the year with code TUGBANANA. You get 10% off anything in the merch store. If you're interested, there's a Time Will Always Tell trophy, mug, sitting in the shop just waiting for you. You can have that trophy in your house and use it to put liquids in your face hole. Anyway, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the year. I will see you bright and early. Tomorrow morning, we're going to pick back up with Potioncraft 2.0 and ring in the new year, hopefully rested, good God. Ring in the new year with some very chill vibes, playing some Potioncraft, and hopefully not completely up the big complicated recipe again. That'd be nice, right? That'd be nice. Happy New Year, everybody. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for more games. Until then, as always, as ever, remember, be good to each other. Bye, everybody.